Okay, so let's continue our look at academic paragraph writing. We can begin by reviewing what we talked about in the previous classes. So let's quickly look again at the academic paragraph structure. The completed academic paragraph will have four parts. It will have a topic sentence with two parts, which is highlighted in red. It will have a paraphrase section or supporting evidence section taken from research, which is highlighted in black. The section in green is the evaluation of the significance or the writer's comment, and the final section is a concluding sentence which gives the paragraph unity, and that is highlighted in blue. So we looked at stage one already. So we take the information from a reliable source, a reliable text, and we paraphrase it. So we rewrite it without changing the meaning, keeping the meaning exactly the same. And the paraphrase section of your paragraph should be about half the length of the final paragraph. In stage two, we add the section highlighted in green, which is the evaluation of the significance of the source. Another example is given here of the second stage of paragraph writing, and a further example is given here. So we have already completed the second stage of our academic paragraph. Now let's take a look at the questions we can use to develop this stage of the paragraph one more time. So we can ask these questions under the headings, what does it mean and why is it important? So those are the first two stages of academic paragraph writing. Let's move on and let's take a look at the third stage. So in the third stage, we add a two-part topic sentence to the start of the paragraph. So you can see here that I've added the topic sentence in red. So let's have a look at how we can understand the main topic of the paragraph. The main topic of that paragraph was melting permafrost, and you can see that the same topic appears throughout the paragraph, although the language has been changed or paraphrased. If you need to take a minute to stop and read the paragraph, you can do that just to check that those words or phrases do all have the same meaning. Let's look at another example of an academic paragraph. This time you can stop the video and think about what you think the main topic of the paragraph is. So stop the video now. The main topic of the paragraph this time is meat production, and you can see there that the phrases meat production or meat consumption, which has a similar meaning, appear in several sentences of the paragraph. So the main topic of this paragraph was meat and dairy production. Let's have a look at the third example paragraph. So there is your topic sentence, and again you can stop the video and think about the main topic of the paragraph. So in this case, the main topic was animal agriculture, and the other sentences which feature a phrase of the same meaning are again highlighted in red. So here the topic was animal agriculture. In the previous example, the topic was meat and dairy production. So here you can see that these two paragraphs formed part of the same longer essay. The first one has the topic of meat and dairy production, and the second one has the topic of animal agriculture. So they are two paragraphs from the same longer essay. I will come back to that in a short while when we look at the two parts of a topic sentence in more detail. So let's move on and look at what a topic sentence is. So the topic sentence is always the most general sentence in the paragraph. Another way of saying this is that it is the broadest sentence, or it has the broadest meaning. So what I mean here is that the topic sentence should be wide enough, broad enough, general enough to cover all of the contents in the paragraph. The second thing you need to know about topic sentence writing is that it is nearly always the first sentence in any academic paragraph. Every academic paragraph will have a topic sentence, which is to say that every academic paragraph is organized around a central topic. In almost every paragraph, it will be the first sentence, and when you write your paragraph, it should definitely be the first sentence because this is the clearest way to communicate the topic to the reader. The next thing you need to know about topic sentences is that they show or tell the reader where the paragraph is going to go next. So they are very important in indicating the direction and the organization of the information. The final thing you need to know about the topic sentence is that it sums up or summarizes the content of the whole paragraph. So it's the first sentence, it's the most general sentence, it's a summarizing sentence, and it tells the reader what is coming next. Okay, so let's have a look at the two-part topic sentence in a little bit more detail. A good topic sentence will have two parts: the main topic of the paragraph, or essay, or report, and the specific focus of the individual paragraph. This is called the controlling idea. The main topic will often be the same in every paragraph of a longer text, such as an essay or report, but the controlling idea will change in every paragraph of the report or essay. So I've got some example sentences here. Hang on. One way of thinking about the main topic and controlling idea is that nothing should be in the paragraph if it falls outside the limit or the boundary that the topic sentence establishes. So this is exactly what I said before. It's the most general sentence. Nothing should be in the paragraph if it is not about that same topic. So now we're ready to look at our example sentences. MT is the main topic and CI is the controlling idea. So if we look again at the second and third example sentences here, I said before that these were from the same piece of writing, the same essay. We can see that the main topic is the same, meat and dairy production in the first paragraph, animal agriculture in the second paragraph, but we can see that the focus of the paragraph changes in the second part of the topic sentence. The first one talks about climate change. The second one talks about food production and water conservation. So as it says on the PowerPoint, the main topic will be the same throughout that section of the essay or report, and then the specific focus or controlling idea will change in every paragraph. But you don't need to worry about that too much right now because you're only writing one paragraph. So the important thing for you to understand is that it should have two parts. Okay, let's have a look at the final part of the paragraph, stage 4. And here we need to understand the concept of unity or coherence. So the final sentence of the paragraph concludes the paragraph and gives unity or coherence. So we will look at this in a little bit more detail later on, but just notice that the main topic is melting permafrost, and the main topic is paraphrased in the final sentence as thawing tundra. In the first sentence we have the phrase, the serious nature of the situation at the Arctic, and in the concluding sentence we have the most serious threats. So you can see that the serious situation and the serious threat has a similar meaning. Let's have a look at an example of a sentence that does not conclude the paragraph by giving it unity. So it's the same paragraph we looked at before. Here the writer says something needs to be done about the tundra. So here the writer writes a concluding sentence. They add an extra sentence at the end of the paragraph. It finishes or completes the paragraph, but there is no unity here because in the paragraph, the writer did not discuss what needs to be done. The writer did not discuss solutions. They did not discuss responses. In fact, they talked about something completely different. They talked about how threatening it was to the earth. So you can see that the previous sentence from the previous paragraph gives unity. It recycles the main topic and it recycles the controlling idea. So that's the idea of unity that I want you to understand and to practice when you write your paragraphs. So let's move on and look at another example paragraph, this time a completed paragraph. This time you can stop the video and think about which part of the unity sentence, the final sentence, or which two parts of that sentence give unity to that sentence. So we can see first of all that the phrase meat and dairy production is mentioned as meat consumption in the final sentence, and then the expression climate change basically has the same meaning or a very similar meaning to global warming. So we can see that the same main topic and the same controlling idea are used again in different vocabulary. So let's move on and look at a third example paragraph. So again, you can stop the video now and think about which main topic and which controlling idea appear again in the final sentence. So the main idea is animal agriculture. In the final sentence, meat consumption. And we can see that the controlling idea is in terms of food and water conservation. So it's wasteful and damaging in terms of food production and water conservation. And in the final sentence, it says the basic standard of living. So of course, to have a very basic standard of living, we need food and water. So hopefully you can see that again, the main concept, the main ideas have been recycled or reused in the final sentence, but expressed in different words or different vocabulary. So let's have a look at those sentences in a little bit more detail. You've got the topic sentence on the left and the unity sentence on the right. So I underlined in black and in red the parts of those sentences that are recycled or paraphrased or used again. So you can see, for example, melting permafrost has the same meaning as thawing tundra. The serious nature of the situation is similar to saying the most serious threats. And you can see that in the other paragraphs, the sections in black and the sections in black underlined and the sections in red underlined correspond to each other. They have the same or very similar meanings. So this is how you achieve unity in your paragraph. So let's have a look at how you can remember your topic sentences and unity sentences. The first image to think about is two bookends. You have something in the start, the information or content in the books in the middle, and then the second bookend at the end. Sometimes people use the image of a burger or a sandwich to help you to remember this. You have one thing at the top, one thing at the bottom, and the content in the middle. So you have the topic sentence at the top, the unity sentence at the end, and the content of the paragraph in the middle. So it's rather like a sandwich or a burger. So let's have a look at the third comment on the right hand side. As I already mentioned, so the elements of the topic sentence, so that's the main idea, the main topic, and the controlling idea, should be recycled or paraphrased. In other words, because using a wide range of vocabulary is important in academic writing. So there's one more example paragraph on the PowerPoints that you can look at, and that also explains the topic sentence and unity sentence there for you. So that's the end of my video about how to write academic paragraphs. In particular, we looked at stages 3 and 4. We looked at how to write topic sentences and unity sentences to complete the paragraph. And this is what we're going to do in the class on Thursday this week. So thanks everybody. See you all soon in the classroom.